Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we're going to be looking at something pretty different. We're kind of at the crossroads of time travel and learning English as a second language. And we've got this outline for a YouTube video that takes a very unique approach. I think you're going to be interested to hear about this.
Well, yeah, it seems like it's an attempt to tap into that what-if feeling that we all love. The outline we have here is for a video called What If Time Travel Was Possible? Learn English with Fun. And I mean, the title itself really kind of gets to the core of it. It's using this fantastical scenario to try and get people excited about learning the language.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical English lesson. You know, instead of just drilling people on grammar and vocabulary, this video wants you to actually imagine hopping into a time machine.
Yeah.
You know, it's even got activities like writing dialogues with people from the future, or even creating these short stories about your time traveling adventures.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating approach, I think. I mean, think about the last time you were really engrossed in something that you were learning. I bet it was something that was really fun and engaging.
Right. And that's what this video is trying to do for English language learners. By presenting the grammar and vocabulary in the context of this thrilling time travel narrative, they're really trying to make the process enjoyable. And then, you know, because it's enjoyable, it's going to be more effective too.
So how does this actually play out in the video? Can you maybe walk us through the structure a little bit?
Sure. So it starts with an intro, of course.
Yeah.
Just like anything else, setting the scene and kind of getting the learner's imagination going about the possibilities of time travel. But then it cleverly layers in all these different learning activities, like there's dialogue practice and there's vocabulary, grammar lessons that are all woven into this time travel story.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got interactive questions that really get you thinking. And then to top it all off, there's this creative writing challenge at the end. It sounds like they're really trying to hit every part of language acquisition, right? Like reading, writing, speaking, and listening. But they're keeping it fun. That's really impressive.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like sneaking in the veggies, you know, with the delicious dessert.
Right. They're appealing to that innate human desire that we have.
Yeah.
To explore the unknown, but doing it in a way that actually helps you learn a new language at the same time.
So let's get into the specifics of the actual content itself. What kind of vocabulary and grammar are they teaching? Like, how is it all fitting into this time travel theme?
Well, all the vocabulary is centered around time travel concepts. So words like, you know, time machine and explore, era, you know, things like that. But the interesting thing is that they don't just give you these words like in a list. They weave them into the activities so you learn them in context. Like, for example, they might have a dialogue between a time traveler and someone living in the future. And then in that dialogue, they use words like future and technology and things like that. So you're not just memorizing a list of words, but you're actually seeing how they're used, right? Like in a real conversation, or at least, you know, an imagined conversation.
Oh,
that's cool. What about grammar? Are they focusing on any particular structures?
Yes. They're introducing the second conditional, which is really perfect for talking about these hypothetical situations. You know, like, if I could time travel, I would visit ancient Rome, you know, things like that. And this grammar structure really fits so naturally within the whole time travel theme. And it allows learners to actually practice expressing their own hypothetical journeys and desires and things like that.
Yeah. So it gives them a reason to use the grammar.
Exactly.
They're not just, you know, conjugating verbs. They're imagining themselves in these crazy scenarios. And they can use the language to actually talk about it.
Yeah, precisely. It taps into the power of imagination as a learning tool. You know, when you get emotionally invested in the scenario, the learning becomes much more meaningful and memorable, even if it's fantastical.
And I love how they're encouraging active learning. So they're not just passively watching a video, right? They're answering questions, they're writing dialogues and creating stories. Tell me more about these interactive elements.
Sure. So throughout the video, they'll sprinkle in questions like, if you could time travel, where would you go? You know, past or future, and why? And who is one historical figure you would love to meet? You know, questions like that. And these questions really get the viewer thinking critically and applying the vocabulary and grammar that they've just learned. And then it doesn't even stop there. They actually have like a creative writing challenge at the end where they ask viewers to write a short story about, like, you know, their first time travel trip or something. And using the vocabulary and grammar that they learned. And they can even share those stories online with other learners. And, you know, sharing those stories, it can really help boost confidence and then give them a sense of accomplishment.
So it's building a community.
Yeah.
which can be so important, especially when you're learning a new language. Especially if you're learning on your own. It's like they're building a little virtual time travel club.
Right.
Where everybody can share their adventures and support each other.
That's a great way to put it. And, this whole community building idea, it's actually backed up by research in education psychology. Like, when learners feel connected to a group, they're going to be more motivated. They're going to be more engaged. And ultimately, they're going to be more successful.
Makes sense. It doesn't have to be like this, solitary thing. It can be like a shared experience.
Yeah.
And this video really seems to emphasize that.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the most innovative aspects of this approach. They're not just teaching a language. They're creating this whole environment where learners can, connect and collaborate and inspire each other. I mean,
it's like they're turning language learning into a game.
Yeah.
Right, with all these challenges and then sharing your creations.
Yeah, you're right. That actually brings up another interesting element here, which is this concept of gamification, Using game-like elements in learning has become really popular, and for good reason. I mean, when something feels like a game, we're more likely to stick with it.
Right.
We push ourselves further, and we actually enjoy it.
Think about it. I mean, we've all spent hours playing video games.
Right.
Totally engrossed in the challenge and the reward and everything. So, I mean, why not try and bring that to language learning?
Exactly. Our brains are wired to respond to that kind of stuff. Rewards and challenges and sense of progress and all that. That's what this video is trying to do by, incorporating these interactive elements.
So it's not just time travel. It's kind of about using that to make it into a game.
Exactly. And there is, science behind it. Studies have actually shown that bringing in these game-like elements into learning can lead to people being more motivated. They have improved memory. They can even have a deeper understanding of the material.
That's incredible. Like, we're finally figuring out how to make learning actually enjoyable and effective instead of it being a chore.
Yeah, I agree completely. And this YouTube video outline, even though it's just like a blueprint, I think it really offers a glimpse into the future of education, like a future where learning is really personalized and engaging and driven by, imagination and play.
It's really inspiring to see how creative educators are getting with this stuff,
Absolutely. And I think this particular example with the time travel theme and the community building, it's really intriguing because it shows that we can kind of break free from the traditional classroom and create learning experiences that are really captivating and memorable.
What do you think is the most innovative aspect of this whole video concept?
For me, I think it's how they've woven together these seemingly totally different elements like time travel and gamification and community building. They've created this holistic learning experience that appeals to both our intellectual curiosity and then, our emotional need for connection.
I totally agree. It's not just about learning the language itself. It's about going on an adventure.
Yeah.
Connecting with fellow travelers. Yeah. Feeling a sense of belonging.
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder that learning doesn't have to be about memorizing facts and figures. It can be this journey of discovery, a source of joy, and a way to connect with others who share your passions.
And sometimes it even involves time travel.
Right.
But speaking of time travel, I'm curious how they handle the specifics of actually teaching the grammar and vocabulary within this whole fantastical scenario.
That's a great question. Yeah, let's look at some of the specific examples that they provide in the outline and see how they bring these concepts to life.
Sounds good to me. Let's fire up our metaphorical time machines and see where this journey takes us. It's funny, we always think about time travel as this fictional thing, but in a way, learning a new language, IS time travel.
That's interesting. How so?
Well, when you learn a new language, you're kind of opening a window into a different culture, a different way of thinking, a different worldview even. It's like you're stepping into a time machine and experiencing the world through somebody else's eyes.
Yeah.
Like another community or even another historical period.
Oh, I really like that. That's a great analogy. It's true. Language is more than just words and grammar. It reflects a whole culture's history and values, their beliefs. So when you learn a new language, you're basically getting access to this whole new world of human experience.
Exactly. And this YouTube video with this time travel theme, I think it's really tapping into that in a clever way.
Yeah.
It's encouraging learners to really immerse themselves in the culture, not just learn, the language itself, but imagine interacting with people from different times and places.
Yeah. It's like they're taking this concept of cultural immersion and giving it this like literal time-bending twist.
Yeah.
And by doing that, they're making the process so much more engaging and meaningful and just more effective overall.
It really makes you think about using these imaginative scenarios in other parts of education too. Like, what if we could learn history by like literally stepping back in time and experiencing these big historical events firsthand? Or what if we could learn science by, I don't know, exploring the universe as an astronaut?
Those are great ideas. And I think they really point to this trend that we're seeing more and more, towards experiential learning, where students aren't just kind of sitting back and listening, but they're actually engaging and making connections and creating their own understanding.
Yeah, it's about moving away from just memorizing things and moving towards something that's more holistic and immersive, that really sparks your curiosity and your imagination. And I think this video really hits the nail on the head there.
I completely agree. I think the big takeaway for me is that learning should be an adventure. It should be fun and it should be engaging and it should spark a sense of wonder. And sometimes, a little time travel can help us get there.
Well said. So to our listener, we really want you to think about how you can bring this sense of adventure and imagination into your own journey of learning.
Yeah. Whether you're learning a new language or exploring a new subject or just trying to broaden your horizons a little bit, just remember that the most effective learning experiences are the ones that tap into your curiosity and your creativity and your sense of play.
And who knows, maybe someday we will actually have time machines and we can travel to the past and the future. But until then, I think we can all use our imaginations to explore all the possibilities of human knowledge and experience.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it's given you some new ideas and inspired you to maybe approach learning with a fresh sense of wonder and possibility.